talk about expectations. Hello YouTube, my name is Jacob, and yeah, I love SpongeBob. I've been a fan of SpongeBob since the very beginning in 1991, and I have been for the last 22 years. Let's say that, SpongeBob is one of those few franchises that I actually don't know how I got into it, and I've just been a fan as long as I can remember. So, I actually figured, since my town more recently did a production of the SpongeBob Musical, I actually thought, why not give my own review of the SpongeBob Musical itself? You see, back when the show was announced in 2014, maybe 16, I thought the show was gonna flop hard. Because at that point, SpongeBob was kind of around its 7th or maybe 6th season, and it's kind of gone really downhill, especially that Steven Hillenburg left after the first movie. And, well, I gotta say that, I actually saw it when the tour hit my hometown. No, not my hometown, my home state. And then I saw it a second time when my town did a local production of it. And man, I never should have doubted it from the start. First off, let me say that this is a show that actually treated itself more like a Broadway musical first, and then an adaptation of SpongeBob second. So it knew what it's supposed to be, and it knew that it had to be for kids second. It had to be for adults first, kids second. So, with that settled, let's get to the story. It's a nice day in Bikini Bottom, and then all of a sudden, everything starts rumbling. We soon find out that there is a volcano next to Bikini Bottom, and it's about to erupt. Everyone has their own ideas of how they should escape a certain doom, but SpongeBob, being the sponge that loves his town so much, he is not going to have that, so he recruits Patrick and Sandy to go up into the volcano and try and save Bikini Bottom. The people who made the show actually described it as Armageddon meets our town meets SpongeBob, and yeah, it shows. Considering that this is a Broadway musical, they actually decided to go all out and make it as big as they possibly could. And considering that, and even though this is all about SpongeBob, this show does make sure to get all the other characters their own spotlight. So Patrick has a story, Sandy has a story, Squidward has a story, Mr. Krabs has a story, and you know what? It works. It's pretty good. If you have a favorite character in SpongeBob, then there's a good chance that they might actually have their own story in the show. It's a really, really good, well thought out story, and I think it's really done well. The songs, oh my goodness. What they did with the songs for the SpongeBob Musical is absolutely phenomenal. When it comes to a Broadway musical, they would usually get like one or maybe two artists to do the songs. But SpongeBob was like, nah, let's get the best artists we can and get them to do a song for the show. And it's amazing. You get Panic at the Disco, Plain White T's, T.I., Cyndi Lauper, Lady Antebellum, among so many others. And man, it worked out perfectly. My favorite song is Just a Simple Sponge by Panic at the Disco, but I also really like BFF by Plain White T's. We got the, I also really like I'm Not a Loser by They Might Be Giants, and When the Going Gets Tough by T.I. Those are some of my favorites on top. And if you know these artists, then you're probably going to know which ones actually did each song. So, thumbs up for the songs. It's awesome. The characters. Oh my goodness. Now, considering the cartoonish nature of SpongeBob, it'd be pretty difficult to portray a cartoon sponge on stage. But, surprisingly, they did something well with this one. In the SpongeBob Musical, all the characters, they all look like normal people. But if you know the characters well, you're possibly going to recognize them just from their costume designs alone. Like, if you see a guy with a yellow shirt and a brown pants, you know that's SpongeBob. If you see someone wearing a pink Hawaiian shirt and you see green shorts, that's Patrick. My favorite costume design is actually this one guy who had a brown shirt, blue pants, and an extra pair of legs. Immediately, I knew that was Squidward. It's pretty cool. And what I do like about how the characters are portrayed, they're portrayed a little differently from the show, but also kept to their true nature. SpongeBob is still slightly childish, but he still has a newfound bravery, and he's also still got that childlike innocence to him. Patrick is actually still as dumb as a rock, and well, he's portrayed more as like he's more naive, like no one believes in him. Squidward is portrayed more as an underrated artist, and I really like that. You don't really see him too grumpy all the time, and it works. And one of my favorite portrayals actually is Plankton. He actually has this costume design that makes him look more like a James Bond villain, and he has an eye patch. Occasionally, in select scenes, he would actually have like a small Plankton plushie in his hand, and it works because it actually comes in with the fact that Plankton is tiny. He is microscopic. It works. Now we come to the set design. Oh my gosh, this show is beautiful. They actually have all these sets that look like they're made out of junk. You have like these poo noodles being all this kelp and coral, and you also have a bunch of boxes that are meant to be the volcano. And my favorite thing about the set design is when you first enter the stage. Here's a picture of when me and my brother went to see the show during the tour, and you definitely see that there's a model of SpongeBob's neighborhood, and you see that there's a tiki band, and the whole stage is lit blue. It is honestly pretty amazing. That's how you know you're in for a good show. I think the SpongeBob Musical might be one of my personal favorite shows, and it's honestly one I should never have doubted from the start. So, if you're a SpongeBob fan, or maybe if you're a Broadway or stage theater fan in general, you gotta go see the SpongeBob Musical. Whether a local production is in your town, or maybe it's the live on stage television version, you'll have a great time, and you'll probably like SpongeBob a little more, even if you don't like him. So, until next time, see you later, my subscribers.